What's up, guys? Marlon back at it again with another show for you guys and girls today. And my we have a lot of stuff to talk about. Yes, I did enjoy my day off yesterday. Day off was actually pretty lit, and spent it with family, spent it with the wifey. You know how we get down, man. We need a little time off. We've been grinding all week long and everything, and so we back on the train. I need you guys to be on the train with your boy. It's definitely going down. Get hype. I don't care what's going on. Get hype. I need you guys to get hype, man. Y'all know how we get down, man. Y'all know how we get down. All right, so I'm gonna talk about a few things here before we actually get started, and you guys already know how I get down. So first thing, nation news. We're looking good so far as everything that we set out to do. So continue, guys, to support the show and everything. We're trying to make some moves behind the scenes to get certain things done. Also, I'm in the process of trying to get a PlayStation VR. Looking to do some kind of game stuff with the wifey and also with you guys as well. So I'm looking to do that. It's quite an investment, so we'll see if we have enough to actually take care of that. Also, let me see what else. And we might have a special show sometime this week. It all depends on how it goes. Like I said, I've been pulling some strings and trying to make some stuff happen, trying to give you guys some exclusive blowout of information. And so I'm gonna see what we can do as far as that front goes. But we have a banging show, and man, oh man, you know what, I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. The most exciting system for me right now is the PS5. Like I'm just excited, I'm pumped, and I cannot wait for it, because the more and more I get news sent to me, the more and more I hear information about the system, the more and more I get excited. You know what I'm saying? It's like I've never been this excited about a system since PS1, PS2. It's just crazy. It's crazy. So anyway, guys, we're gonna summarize the topic. We have a full show for you guys and girls today, and this edition of the show is definitely gonna be fire. So make sure you guys grab your water, your favorite beverage, whatever you drink. Get hype. I'm not gonna say it again. Get hype. All right, here we go, baby.
Tactical nuke incoming!
All right, so we got the tactical nuke out the way. You guys know how we do things, man. Yeah, we're gonna save the dance. We're gonna save the dance just for a little minute. All right, we're gonna save the dance just for a little minute. So first thing is first here. We're going to be talking about The Last of Us 2 State of Play. All right, so this is fresh off the block. We're going to be getting a State of Play for The Last of Us 2. And I actually love when Sony actually do things like this, where they give us game dedicated State of Play, just like what Nintendo's been doing since forever, right? With the Nintendo Direct, they've been giving us, a bunch of trailers, a bunch of gameplay and stuff like that. And Sony seems like they're following that trend. And so Ghost of Tsushima did very, very well. Now, here's something that's going to be interesting. Sony competing with themselves. It's going to be interesting to see if Last of Us 2 is going to outdo Ghost of Tsushima with viewership. Because right now, I think Ghost of Tsushima is like the most watched State of Play as we sit right now. So we'll see if that happens. So we're going to talk about more details on that and more right here on the show. Also, we're going to be talking about PS5 launch lineup is massive. It's huge, apparently. Okay, so we're going to talk about where that is actually coming from. We do have some audio that I want you guys to hear from the horse's mouth as well. Somebody that I've met before, and I think you guys probably know about him already, but yeah, we're gonna talk about that PS5 launch lineup, and this is something that we've been hearing, right, from Jeff Grubb, from other people in the industry and everything, that's been saying like, hey, look, PS5 launch lineup is going to be crazy, and this is why they've been quiet this whole time. So we're going to be talking about that as well. We're also going to be talking about the PS5 reveal announcement. Apparently we're going to be getting some sort of announcement supposedly this week. We're going to be talking more details on that, and there is a surprise, huge surprises. I should have put surprises, but man, June is going to be crazy for gamers. I mean, I cannot even stress it enough. I'm excited. I'm pumped. I'm just like, come on, June. Come on already. Like, I cannot even contain hype right now. You guys can just imagine how I feel. Also, we're going to be having some information here from Mortal Kombat's boss. He talks about the next gen consoles, and that's going to be huge, right? I'm pretty sure there's probably going to be like a free update for Mortal Kombat 11, you know, for PS5 and for Series X. I'm pretty sure of that. And also we do have some massive Xbox data leak. Like I said, man, we can't catch a break right now because there's so much crap going on in the world. And then, you know, this is just piling on top of what we got going on. So yeah, there's a massive Xbox data leak. Also, Sony files another patent for dynamic music, and wait until you guys hear how dynamic music is going to change the scope on how we listen to video game music, like within the game. Like, it's just freaking crazy. On the Nintendo side of things, don't get too excited about this particular topic because there's really no confirmation on this happening, even though at the end of Paper Mario, the origami, I forgot the origami killer or something like that, I forgot what it's called, but yeah, at the end of that trailer, Mario was wearing a Metroid mask. Like, he was wearing the helmet of Samus, right? That's a better way to put it. Samus helmet. So obviously we're going to be getting something Metroid Prime related very soon, but this retailer supposedly have the release date on when the trilogy is going to be happening. Huge Metroid fan. I do have Metroid, the original Metroid Prime on my GameCube and stuff, so been playing Metroid for years, right, on Super Nintendo. Yeah, I mean, it's just crazy, right? So this would be huge because we know Metroid Prime 4 is still happening, right? We know about that already, but yeah, we're gonna have a banging show for you guys. All right, so make sure you guys tag me at Marlongamingnation. We're gonna go ahead here and get with the shout outs. All right, so make sure you guys thumbs up the show so we can actually get the board started here. And let me see here. All right, there we go. Make sure everything is good. All right, so tag me at Marlongamingnation. We're gonna go ahead and get started here. All right, Mike L, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the show. D, what's up? Jermaine, what's good? Welcome to the show. We got Daryl, what's good, fam? Welcome to the show. Hopefully all is well with you guys. For Dad, what's up, man? Dr. Pizza, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Pedro, what's up, man? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Jeep, what's up, man? Jack Duvall, how you doing? Beverly Carter, what's good? Anthony Rudd, what's good? Emmanuel, Alex, what's up? How you doing? Kirby Team, what's up, man? How you doing? Maxwell, Marcus, Sam G, Giver, what's up, man? How you doing? We got Patrick, Gene, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Loon, what's up? What a dookie. We out here, man. Godzilla fan Venom, let's get it on, man. We got John Doe. Hey, Martin, how you doing? We got Dustin up in here. T-Rev, how you doing? Michael Soto, what's up, man? How you doing? Fantastic Gaming, how you doing? Welcome to the show. We got Joey Marks, how you doing? Welcome to the show. We got my man Huffman, let's get it popping. We up in here. Dark Link, let's go. We got Edson. We got Matthew. What's up, man? How you doing? Sonic, what's up? My boy. Anthony, what's up? Jaden, Wolf, what's up, man? How you doing? Tumper in here, dropping them nukes, baby. Let's get it on, man. We out here, bro. We out here. Suffolk, what's up, man? How you doing? Matthias, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's see who else we got here. George Watts, how you doing? Let's see who else we have here. Movie After Reviews, what's up, man? Superman, what's up, man? Andreas, how you doing? Welcome to the show. 237224, how you doing? Welcome to the show. Hello, what's up? How you doing? Welcome to the show. Jasmine Karen, how you doing? Patrick, what's up? Mike L in the house, let's go. JP, let's see who else we have here. Big, what's up? Big Punk in the house. You're in a hurry? Okay, understandable. Lucas, what's up, man? Imran, what it do? What it is? Sean, how you doing? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the show, man. Brian, how you doing? Welcome. Make sure you guys, we got plenty of rooms for everybody to sit down, grab a snack, grab something to drink, all right? Because the show is about to get started. So I need everybody to be comfortable. Find a comfortable couch or a comfortable chair or a comfortable bed to lay down, because the show is about to go down. You guys are not even freaking hype. I'm gonna need for you guys to freaking get hype. Let's go. To start off the Dono Wars for today, the first donation of today hitting us with that $2 donation. Spartan God, that makes you the top stream donator, my guy. Thank you so much. He says, Wednesday is my birthday. Gemini gang, let's get it, gang. We are here, baby. Y'all know what time it is, man. All right, so that gets you up on the board here, sir. Thank you so much, Almighty. Happy birthday. When it comes, you know, I'll be live, so I'll be able to tell you happy birthday. Shout outs. Thank you so much for that $2. That makes you the top stream donator, the Almighty Spartan God. Top stream donator. Thank you so much. Let's go, champ. We out here, man. Ain't nothing can stop us. All right. So I think that's everybody. Gaming TV. Let's get it. Gang, we out here. We out here. Y'all better come on. We got space. We got a lot of room. Grab your snacks. Grab your Oreos. Grab your chips. Grab your mama's fried chicken. Grab your vegetables. I don't care what you eat, what you drink. Find a seat, people. There's plenty of seats over here. So you can sit in the front. You can sit in the middle. You can sit in the back. Wherever you want to. Just find a place to sit. All right? Because we about to start, man. We about to start. We about to roll the cameras. So find a place to sit. Grab you something to drink. Kick your feet up. Something. Do something. All right? Ice Queen Gaming in the house. Let's go. Dragon King. What's up, man? How you doing? Grab you some fries. I don't care what you eating. I don't care where you sitting at. Grab you something. Jasmine Carrot says, you in my seat. Yeah. There's a seat right over here. So find somewhere to sit. I need everybody to be sitting down. MV Johnny, what's up, man? How you doing? MV, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's go, champ. We out here. Alan, what's good? Let's go, champ. We out here. We starting back on our regular schedule. All right. So I think that's everybody, and then everybody is going to be coming back in on the tail end of everything. Okay. Carlos, what's up, man? What's up to everybody? Make sure you smash up that like button. Let's get 100 likes. Let's get it. Gang, we out here, bro. All right. So first topic of today. We're just going to go right off into it. We're not going to waste any time. If you're just coming in, welcome. All right. So this Wednesday, this is coming from the official Naughty Dog Twitter account. This Wednesday, we'll be sharing another glimpse into The Last of Us 2 and an all new extended gameplay sequence on State of Play. Do not miss it. So I will be streaming this for you guys. This is going to be The Last of Us Part 2 State of Play. This will be on Wednesday, May 27th at 1 p.m. PT. So for the California boys or girls, or if you out there in the PT area. This is for you guys, and at 4 p.m. EST for me. So I will be streaming it for you guys, so we can take a much more deeper dive into The Last of Us 2. And I actually love the fact that you know, that they're actually really doing this, because like I said before, they're doing this for their heavy hitting games, right? And I think they should do this, period. You know, even when the PS5 come out, I think they should have state of plays for like dedicated game state of plays for everything. You know, I think that's really good. And you're following Nintendo's foot pattern. So we do have a little bit much more details here on the PlayStation blog. So Naughty Dog's vice president and The Last of Us director, Neil Druckmann, will give you a special preview of The Last of Us Part 2 coming to the PlayStation 4 June 19th. Neil will walk you through details of the new gameplay experience and story. So basically they're going to walk you through the gameplay and, you know, experience, and also the story as well. Now, the current cut clocking in a little more than 20 minutes. So yeah, Ghost of Tsushima was like 18 minutes long, so this is definitely going to be like a little bit over that. They're saying about more than 20 minutes, so probably about 25 minutes, which count me in. I'm down for that. Seeing some new gameplay, extended gameplay, something that we have never seen before. I mean, they could show like, you know, some new combat, some new weapons, some new upgrade features. I mean, they could show us a lot of things that we haven't seen yet. So I think this is definitely dope. I will be streaming this for you guys as well. So basically it said it's going to be a little more than 20 minutes, ending with an extended sequence showing off about 8 minutes of never before seen gameplay. So I think that's fair. So I think maybe 12 minutes of him, or a little bit over 12 minutes of him talking about some cool stuff in for the game, and then 8 minutes of just straight up gameplay. I think I'll be happy with that. And so of course, Sony has to dig in and let us know. And no, there won't be any PS5 news or updates in this episode. Just a deep dive into the world of The Last of Us 2. So yeah, they have to go out there and put that in writing, like, so people don't sit there and thinking, once again, lower your expectations for PS5 right now. All right, because people will be like, oh, they're gonna show Last of Us 2 running on PS5. No, they're not. So lower your expectations down here. Come back. I need you to come back down. All right, so I will be streaming that for you guys. Remember, Wednesday at 4 p.m. EST, I will be streaming it for you guys, and we're gonna take a deep dive into this along with Neil Druckmann, and also taking a look at the extended 8-minute gameplay. I think 8 minutes is pretty long for some gameplay that we have never seen before. All right, so we're gonna move along here to the next topic, and I think a lot of people can definitely appreciate this, and I think you guys will be definitely excited about this. So this is somebody that I've met before. You guys know Maximilian Dude, right? He's the fighting game IGN nonstop YouTube channel, right? And he covers nothing but fighting games, but I do believe that he has his sources, right? Because those guys that are really big, you know, they partner up with a lot of companies: Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, Square Enix, Capcom, Marvel. So they know people, they hear things. And so apparently Maximilian Dude, well-known person in the fighting games community, says that he has been hearing from the industry friends that Sony has a big effing lineup when it comes to launch of their system for the past 2 years. So apparently for the past 2 years, it seems as though that Sony has been cooking up some stuff. And I mean, yo, this is gonna be crazy. And that's why I tell people Sony is about to floor it right now. So we do have some audio here that I wanted to share with you guys that I think you guys can definitely hear it for yourself. All right, so let's go ahead, take it away. Audio team, play that track, man.
No, like they've been working on games for a long time.
Yeah.
Hi, Kenny.
Hey.
So yeah, like we've now like, and it's been rumored more and more and more now with how like Sony has a pretty big fucking lineup when it comes to the launch of their system, and that actually we can back that up because that's what me and Simmons have been hearing from industry friends and things for years. Been hearing that shit for literally 2 years.
I heard that from industry insiders that they're gonna skip 5 and just go to 6.
No, like they've
been working on games for a long time.
Yeah.
Nice, hi, Kenny.
Hey.
So yeah, like we know, like, and it's been rumored more and more and more now with how like Sony has a pretty big fucking lineup when it comes to the launch of their system, and that actually we can back that up because that's what me and Simmons have been hearing from industry friends and things for.
So there we go. There we go. All right. So we'll see what happens. Supposedly early June or something like that. We're supposed to be getting the PS5 event, and so Maximilian Dude has been hearing from his sources that hey, Sony has a huge freaking lineup of PS5 titles for the past 2 years they've been working on. So like I said, the reason why Sony's been quiet, man, I'm telling you right now, the element of freaking surprise in the in the element of silenceness, if that's even a word, I just made up a word. In the element of silenceness is surprise. And so, being that Sony is so freaking quiet, they're about to bring that hammer. And I told you guys from the jump, we've been hearing this not just from Maximilian Dude, but we've been hearing it from Jeff Grubb. We've been hearing it from, what's his name? Jason Schreier. I mean, we've been hearing that Sony have a big lineup of games. I mean, you'd be stupid not to believe that they have a big lineup of games. I mean, this is Sony we're talking about, right? Expect Horizon Zero Dawn 2. Expect God of War. Expect Spider-Man. Do I need to keep going? Sony just got the better games over Microsoft. You know what I'm saying? They just have the better games. Now, we just gonna have to wait and see. We're just gonna have to wait and see what ends up happening, you know what I'm saying, next month, and also for Microsoft in July. We're just gonna have to wait and see. But as of right now, Sony is king over Microsoft when it comes to games. We already know that already, but just to actually hear this, that Sony have a big lineup of games, gets me even more excited. Because we already know on the forecast, we already know what we can expect. You know what I'm saying? When it comes to Sony, we know that they're going to freaking deliver. We know the Spider-Man 2s, the Horizon Zero Dawn 2s. We're hearing about remakes from Blue Point, like multiple remakes in the works. We know about Demon Souls remake. Now we're hearing about freaking Kane, Blood Omen. We're hearing about what was that other game? Metal Gear Solid. Man, it's too much to go over right now. I mean, it's so many games, so many freaking games that I think is gonna blow people away, and I literally can't wait. A lot of surprises that's about to happen. So I literally do believe that we're gonna be blown away. You know what I'm saying? At this reveal event, I do believe that Sony is not going to let us down, and they do have a huge lineup of titles as well to go with that PlayStation 5. Because let me tell you something right now. In order for you to be the champ, why do you think I say let's go champ? In order for you to be the champ, you got to protect your belt. You got to protect your heavyweight champion belt, right? You're not going to just roll over and let somebody take it from you like that. So with all the titles that's supposed to be happening, Jack and Daxter, Silent Hill, a new SOCOM, I mean, it's just too much to even freaking list right now. Okay, so if you're a PlayStation fan, then you need to get hype. All right, we're gonna move along here to something a bit much more interesting, and this is the homie that comes to the show, that watches the show, and I appreciate him. He's also an insider as well, and man, I really want to believe this, because if the PS5 is going to get revealed early June, then I think Sony is going to have an announcement sometime this week, right? It will just make sense. If you're going to be on June the 5th, if it's not the 4th and it's the 5th or the 6th or the 7th or something like that, then we need an announcement this week. And so this is coming from Tidux. Now, Tidux says, heard from quite a few people that PlayStation are planning an announcement next week. Now, this was from Saturday when he put out this tweet. So next week means this week, right? Next week related to the PS5 and an event to follow within 7 to 10 days. So 7 to 10 days after they put out that tweet or that announcement is when we're going to be getting that PlayStation 5 reveal, according to Tidux. So, I mean, this is very interesting. I mean, where there's smoke, there's definitely fire. And I mean, we've been hearing from Jeff Grubb that, you know, it's going to be early June. We've been hearing from Jason Schreier that it's going to be early to mid-June. At this point in time, I do believe that it's going to be in June. Like, I mean, I'm pretty sure because of what's going on in the world right now with this pandemic, they have to move around the dates and everything. But I do believe that it's definitely going to be this week. Hold off on the questions. Hold off on the questions until we get to that Q&A, because it's just going to be throwing me off. All right. So also, he put out a reply that I wanted to go over on. As you all know, PlayStation are extremely dynamic in these world pandemic times. So it can change at any time. If in here I guess he meant to say, if he hears anything like that, I will let you know immediately. So as of right now, it seems as like that particular information that he heard of is set in stone, basically set in stone as far as that time frame. Versatile, thank you so much for subscribing. Welcome aboard. Make sure you click that notification bell on all so you never miss out on what we got going on here. Really do appreciate you. It says, I believe it just by how Sony is moving. The Last of Us State of Play so early, they get in and out the way. Exactly. They wanted to, they got Ghost of Tsushima out the way, and they're getting The Last of Us. So I would say after The Last of Us State of Play, I would say after The Last of Us State of Play, anything goes. I mean, it's literally up in the air at that point. Versatile, make sure you click that notification bell on all, man. Welcome to the nation. So I would say after The Last of Us, if there's any type of announcement happening this week, like according to Tidux, if they don't change because of the world pandemic, then I would say after The Last of Us, then I think they would do that. You know what I'm saying? I think it just makes sense. But we'll see. June is around the corner. We got one more week left out of this month, so we'll see if Sony announces something after The Last of Us Part 2, because I have a feeling that they probably will. Either maybe Friday. I think Friday after Wednesday. Friday is going to be your last weekday to make an announcement, right? If not, then it's going to be the next week after that, which means that's going to boil over to, if they don't make the announcement this week, then that's going to boil over into Monday, which is next week. So not this week, but next week, right? But normally when they announce stuff, it's normally like a week in advance. It just all depends. I mean, it all depends on how they want to do it. But we'll definitely see if it's going to happen this week or not. Hey, the wifey in the house. Let's go. We out here. We're rocking. Let's go. Anderson, what's up, man? How you doing? Don't worry about that, man. You're here. That's all that matters. So we'll see if Sony announces something this week pertaining to the PlayStation 5. All right, so we're going to keep it moving here, guys, because let's move on to the June surprise. June surprise. Okay, and this is why I believe that Sony's gonna drop that hammer in June after all. So Sabi, for a lot of people who don't know, is a very credible individual. If you're just coming in, find a seat. We got plenty of seats. Sit down. Don't make a lot of noise. Hi, how you doing? Welcome aboard. Make sure you click that like button if you're just joining us today. Grab your favorite beverage. We got water. We got juice. We got chicken, we got some vegetables. Grab whatever you want. You know, it's on the house. Just sit down. All right, enjoy the show. Thank you so much for coming in. All right, So Sabi, very credible guy. I had a chance to talk a few times with Sabi and everything like that. And so I know he got a cease and desist letter from Nintendo saying that, hey, look, Nintendo don't play when it comes to leaks. I don't think most companies don't really care with leaks, but Nintendo, they'll bring that hammer down on you. And so, yeah, he said that June is about to be very hype regarding Sony and NG Plus. Wow. And for a lot of people who don't know who Sabi is, look him up on Twitter. The guy is very credible. I mean, this guy got like literally 99.9% of things right. So he said, because I know he can't really go in details, but he said June is about to be very hype regarding Sony and NG Plus. All right. So this is definitely huge now for a lot of people scratching their heads like, Marlon, what is NG Plus? NG Plus is a new Game Plus Expo that will be held on June 23rd, 2020. All right. And this is a gaming expo, like sort of like E3 and everything like that. So a lot of you guys don't know about what Game G Plus is or New Game Plus is. This is what it is. It's going to entail a bunch of publishers and a bunch of devs in there as well. So it's going to have Sega, Atlas, Natsumi. They're going to have FID Factory. They're going to have KT. That's like Koei Tecmo, right? They're going to have SNK. They're going to have all these ARC system works. They're going to have all these different publishers there, developers there at this event, but that's like close to the end of the month, right? So for people asking for links to it, here you guys go. We'll definitely put a link down into the description as well once the show is over with, but there is the link. You can go look it up for yourself if you don't believe what I'm saying to you. So apparently that's what's going to happen here, is that event is going to be taking place later down in June for this whole NGP Plus New Game Plus Expo situation. And then Sabi is saying that something huge is going down in June for the PlayStation 5. Obviously PlayStation 5, right? Come on now. We're going to be getting a huge surprise from Sony next month. So get excited, guys. This is definitely some good information here that I think a lot of you guys will definitely appreciate. Now, we're going to move along here because you guys know I'm not going to drag my feet with the information. We're going to keep the train going here. Now, listen to this. So, Mortal Kombat Boss talks about next-gen consoles. New way of handling loading is going to be huge. And once again, you know, the system that I think is really going to have a bigger edge when it comes to loading, when it comes to SSD, is obviously the PS5, because it has this world-class SSD, which is like really, really, really fast. And I think a lot of people is actually missing out on that. And so we're going to actually move along here. So Mortal Kombat's Boss talks about next-gen consoles. New way of handling loading is going to be huge. Now, during a live stream of the Summer Game Fest, I think I remember this Summer Game Fest situation here with Jeff Keighley. He says he also added that he believes that we haven't yet scratched the surface of what it will be possible to do with the new console. So that little demo that we have gotten is actually nothing like groundbreaking yet, right? That was just a tech demo. Like, that's nothing yet. And so I literally cannot wait to see actual games running on actual hardware from both Sony and Microsoft. June and July are going to be 2 big months for gaming. I think this summer overall is definitely going to be huge for gamers in general. Now we're going to go ahead and talk about what Mortal Kombat Boss, I think that's Ed Boon. All right, now let's dive right off into this. So it's funny when these new consoles come out and everybody goes, okay, what do the graphics look like? Because obviously that's all before gameplay, before resolution, before frame rate. That's all people care about is graphics. How much is the game gonna look? How much better the game is gonna look from the older generation? People always try to compare stuff, right? And so that is so true. That's a very, very true statement. Like, how is the graphics gonna look? You know, is it gonna be better? Is it gonna look the same? Is it worth upgrading? Because let's be honest here, this is just what it is. And before this generation even came in, a lot of people was just talking about freaking what? Games, resolution, gameplay, frame rate, exclusives. Now this new generation, all they're talking about is T-flop, right? T-flop this, T-flop that. SSD. They're talking about T-flop more than the SSD. They're talking about all these. They're acting like they're so tech savvy. A lot of people are acting like, oh, they have this huge computer IQ when it comes to tech, and they want to get involved with T-flop. Come on, you full of crap. You know doggone well you don't know what the heck a T-flop does, but you want to invest your time and resources and energy into a portion of something that don't even make up the full picture. Like, T-flop is just part of the equation. It's just an equation. It's just like doing math, right? It's just part of the freaking equation. It doesn't equal the answer, the overall arching answer of everything. So idiots want to sit here and, oh, T-flop, oh, I told you it's not 13 T-flop. I told you. Oh, shut up. Who cares? What it boils down to at the end of the day is the gameplay. The gameplay, right? Then you can throw in graphics in there. Then you could throw in frame rate and resolution. And then you could throw in sound and all those other things that makes up a game. That's all people are talking about. Stuff that's freaking irrelevant and doesn't make sense. Right? And that now that whole T-flop thing is dead and buried, they're still trying to find a way that, oh, you know what? I'm gonna throw salt on the PS5 because we still don't know what it looks like, and it's weak and it's lame. You know what? That's for a whole nother topic. Let's continue here. So Ed Boon is right? The first thing that people always say when they're going over into a new console, right, is graphics. How's the graphics? How does it look? Now, listen to this. I think people are underestimating the impact that almost zero load time is going to have. And this is why I say people are if you call yourself a gamer, right? There's different facets to this thing other than just T-flop, other than just graphics, right? You want to see what the gameplay looks like. You want to know about the story. You want to know about the character. You want to know about the sound. You want to know about the frame rate. You want to know about the resolution. You don't want to know about no freaking T-flop count. You know what I'm saying? Like, who cares about how much T-flop you're going to have? That's not going to make the game look better or perform better because it have 2 or 3 more T-flops over the other console. Are you kidding me? It's ridiculous. Instead, you need to talk about load times. Everybody should be rejoicing. When we first found out the specs of these systems, PS5 and Series X, everybody should have been rejoicing about the load times. Nobody gave a rat's behind about load times. You know what they gave a rat's behind about? T-flop count. That's how stupid the gaming industry is. And look, I'm a veteran of the industry. I've been into this professionally since 2005, 2006. I've been engraved into this. Look me up. You will see for yourself, right? I've been around for a long time. I met a lot of people, met a lot of journalists, know a lot of big execs in both Sony, Microsoft, Nintendo, met a lot of people, right? And I'm telling you right now that T-flop does not matter. If T-flop matter, then why is the Switch selling like it is, right? Why is the Switch selling like it is? In the PS3 and the 360 era, who gave a rat's behind about T-flop back then? What it came down to was gameplay. What it came down to was story. What it came down to was graphics and sound and replay value. And if it's worth your $60, your hard-earned $60, nobody gives a rat's behind. So every generation comes with its own vomit It's like you want to throw up in your own freaking mouth. It's like, why is everybody investing in T-flop? You're not going to play T-flop. You're going to play the game. You're going to see what the gameplay is like. You're going to see what the story is like. You're going to see what the characters are all about. You don't care. You're going to see if the game is running stable enough so you can enjoy it, so it won't have any performance issues. Who cares about freaking T-flop? And so Ed Boon is right. Nobody is talking about load times. Everybody really talks about load times. And load times, I can't even stress enough. Even with the PS4 Pro and even the base PS4, even after we graduated, we literally graduated from PS3 and 360, right? And we still having these long freaking load times. We still got to sit here and twinkle our thumbs, bite our freaking fingernails, and sit here and wait on a freaking game to load. Hours. I'm talking, depending on your internet connection, you got to sit there and wait. And that ruins the experience for a lot of people, because people patience. Let me tell you something about human nature and humans' patience. People don't have patience. People don't even have an ounce, not even a second, not even an ounce of a second to wait on anything. People want that microwave stuff. They want it right away. Why you think there's a lot of hate towards Sony right now? Because Sony is taking forever. Oh, show the freaking PS5 already. You taking so freaking long. Patience. The Bible says what? All good thing comes to he who waits. Patience. And patience is what a lot of you guys don't freaking have. You guys want that hurry up. Oh, hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. And then when they rush it and it don't come out right, then you point the finger. No, point the finger at yourself. Point the finger at yourself. Nobody is talking about load times. And he's right. He's right. Everybody, it's probably like a handful of people that is rejoicing. Oh, we're going to have better load times. Little to no load time. You know how much of a game changer that's going to be to pop in Spider-Man, to pop in Grand Theft Auto, to pop in Horizon Zero Dawn. No load times. Instantaneous. That's what you need to be rejoicing about. Load times, not stupid T-flop counts. Right? And I already know these Xbox fanboys, because they're the ones, right, that is sitting here bragging and boasting about how powerful the Series X is and this and that. But you're not looking at it like, oh, you know what? Man, I need to give credit where credit's due. Sony just got the better SSD. Give credit where credit's due. Sony is going to have the edge now when it comes to load times. You know why? Because the SSD is faster. How are they able to achieve that faster load time? You ask yourself, don't you think the SSD have something? You put an SSD in your computer. For those people who are tech savvy and know about tech and stuff, know that when you drop an SSD into any machine, right, and you're booting, that's your number one source hard drive, and you're booting Windows off of that, you're booting any game off of that, load times are tremendously faster than just having a traditional hard drive in there. That's just common sense. That's just common basic tech sense, right? So it's just, nobody talks about SSD. Everybody talks about graphics and T-flops. But you call yourselves real gamers. There's no real gamer into that. But you know what? We're gonna move along here because it's stupid. It's sad and it's stupid and it's pathetic. Now, listen to this. He says that's suddenly going to open doors that weren't considered possible before. And I think we haven't even scratched the surface of what eventually will be done with those systems. They haven't even scratched the surface yet. Do you guys understand how much of a game changer these load times are going to be? Okay, and here's the hypocrisy. Here's where the hypocrisy comes in. You have people sitting here saying, well, the PS5 only got 10.28 T-flop. Then you have some so-called developers saying, oh yeah, that 10.28 T-flop is going to be variable. It's not even going to be stable at 10.28 T-flop. Who freaking cares if it's not going to be stable at 10.2 freaking 8 T-flop. Even if it drops to 9.25 T-flop, it doesn't freaking matter because it's still going to be a freaking beast of a freaking console. You freaking pathetic fool. You invalid. You stupid or something? It's irritating. It's very irritating. You got to understand. Flash memory, SSD. Okay. Here's what they say. Oh, well, that's coming from Sony first party company. That's coming from Sony first party companies. What? Companies? What are you talking about? Third party companies as well is praising the PS5 and the SSD. What are they praising more? Do you see developers are praising T-flop numbers? No, they're not. A lot of developers, Google it if you think I'm making stuff up. Google it for yourself. A lot of developers are praising the SSD and saying how much is it a game changer. You think they're sitting here, they're the ones developing the games. We are not developers, but we sitting out here praising T-flop numbers, looking at two numbers. Oh, this one is 12.1. This one is 10.28. Oh, this one is bigger. Are you dumb? And this is why I say I'm ashamed of the gaming community. I'm ashamed of the industry because it doesn't freaking matter. I don't know how many times I have to preach it on this channel. It doesn't freaking matter about the T-flop. It matters on the SSD. That's what they've been talking about. If you look up all the articles, all the interviews, that's what devs be talking about. The dude from Halo, the co-creator for Halo that worked at Bungie, praising the PS5 and saying how the SSD is a true game changer and how easy the system is to develop for, and how development was like not nightmare, but it was a lot harder to develop for PS4 and Xbox One compared to these newer systems. Give credit where credit's due. Give credit where credit's due. But no, everybody wants to be naive. Everybody wants to jump on the shenanigans train with biscuit wheels, with no gravy. Everybody wants to jump on that train. And you're going to see a lot of those people that was praising, putting the Series X on this global high pedestal. Oh, ain't nothing can touch the Series X. Well, let me tell you something. Let me crash that world for you. What it comes down to is gameplay, not power. Gameplay. Yes, power is important. Power gives us better looking games and innovative ways for developers to make their games, but it's not the end all be all thing. You better wake up and realize that, because the same company that they're talking trash about, saying Sony is garbage, Sony is going to rise up like a phoenix out of the ashes, and they're going to show everybody that why they're the industry leader, why they're in business to win. We know the footprint. Diehard PlayStation fans knows the footprint that Sony has laid out since the PlayStation 1, all the way up until the 5th generation of their console. Ain't no Sony fanboy out here. It's facts. Look at Nintendo. Look at the footprint that Nintendo has laid down. From the original Nintendo all the way to the freaking Switch. Yeah, there was some bumps in the roads. Same thing with Sony, but there was more bumps in the road with Microsoft than the other two. Why you think people don't need to worry about Nintendo? Nintendo don't need to jump up and make a freaking Pro Switch. No, they don't. They don't have to do it. They're still gonna crush PS5 and Series X in some months in sales. Switch is in a whole lane by itself. It doesn't matter what people want to say about it. Oh, it's weak. Oh, it's garbage and it's not powerful enough. Once again, you're on that power crap. Okay? They don't have to come out with a powerful system if they don't want to. They can keep that Switch and ride it out to the end of the life cycle and come out with another one after that. Microsoft, on the other hand, they're one of the main companies that talk about power, and just no games to back it up. You ever heard the saying, put your money where your mouth is? Where is the money at? Where's the money? You talking about all this talk? Look at that Xbox One X. Literal complete failure. They didn't even push the system to its fullest potential. You know why? They jumped ship. Gears 5, that was it. Oh yeah, you know what? This is the best we can do on Xbox One. Gears 5, this is it. We're gonna move on to the next ship. No, man, no. You could have kept going. That system had so much more room for them to use up. That, I'm telling you, man, the Xbox One X is a underdog. It needs to be a king and not an underdog, because that system had a lot of potential power-wise for Microsoft to really dig in. If Microsoft wanted to, they could ride out that system for at least another 2-3 years and have developers develop some crazy looking titles on that system. But no, their back was against the wall. So they had to come out with the Xbox Series X. They had to come out in front of Sony. Don't you guys get it? Don't you guys get the game by now? They're the ones that are the laughing stock of the freaking industry right now. They're the ones, even at the tail end of the life cycle of each systems, they're the one that's selling poorly right now. You know why they're still selling poorly? Because they don't understand what gamers want. Sony had to go back to the drawing board with the PlayStation 4. Before the PS4 came out, Sony went to the drawing board and said, look, we can't have what happened with PS3 happen again. So we gotta dig in. And in order for you to understand about gamers, you have to be a gamer your freaking self. There's no other way. And it leads me to believe, are the people over there at Xbox gamers, real true gamers? Because the crap they've been giving us for the past 7-8 years has been horrible crap. There's a few little gems here and there, but it's always the same rinse and repeat garbage. Let's face the facts. That's just what it is. Microsoft cannot walk in Nintendo's shoes or Sony's shoes. They just can't do it. They're not. That's for the big leagues, baby. That's for the big leagues. You're not in the big leagues yet. You still in your little training pants right now. You still trying to get to that man status. You got a long way to go. If you're still in training pants, that means you're a kid. And right now, Microsoft is, they better bring it in July. I'm telling you right now, they better bring it in July. If they don't have any games to back it up, I ain't talking about just Halo Infinite. I need to see quality first party games that is really going to dig in and really win our hearts back as hardcore fans and gamers. I don't care what nobody say. That's just what it is. They just cannot seem to get it right. After the 360, they've been fumbling the freaking ball. They cannot get it right. So, bro, I'm speaking facts. I'm one of the realists. I'm one of the realists to do this. All right? Google me. You look me up. Look me up on YouTube. I've been doing this since I was 17, 18 years old, talking about gaming. You know what I'm saying? I'm 33, so do the freaking math. I'm not just some fly-by-night dude I've been doing this for years. I'm considered a legend in this industry. So I know what the heck I'm talking about. So for those people that's sitting here, come on, man. You guys know Ed Boon shouldn't have to come out and say this. It's the truth. Everybody is so choked up on graphics. Oh, what's the graphics going to look like? Yeah, the graphics are always amazing. And I'm gonna keep it real with you guys. I love graphics. I'm not gonna lie to you guys, but it's not the end all be all thing. Nobody is praising the fundamental things like the SSD. You know what I'm saying? That's one main fundamental thing that people are missing. The SSD needs to be praised because the SSD is going to give us faster load times, better experiences, better performance across the board. And to be honest with you guys, the true winner right here is the PlayStation 5. 77 Pro Fly, thank you so much. Welcome aboard. Hit that notification bell on all so you never miss out on what we got going on. The true winner here is the PS5. Oh, why are you saying that? Are you a fanboy? No, I'm not. You know why I'm saying that? Because of the SSD. What's up, King Mo? Because of the SSD. That's why I'm saying that. So Ed Boon shouldn't have to come out and tell us that. What is the important thing that gamers are missing out on? You think game developers don't watch the show? You think game developers are not watching other YouTubers? Yeah, of course they are, because they're studying us. And only an ignorant idiot will sit there and praise T-Flop. They're probably shaking their head like these gamers don't even freaking get it. It's not about T-Flop. And you have people calling Mark Cerny's deep dive garbage. You got people calling Mark Cerny's deep dive garbage. You know why? I'm gonna tell you why. Because they don't understand. It's only a select few people that understood what Mark Cerny was saying. The man is smarter than the average person. If you listen to that deep dive, you're like, man, like what the heck? Like the average person, like what the heck is he talking about? Shading and T-flops and shading counts and processing power and this and that. Like what is Mark Cerny talking about? But you have people out here saying that it's garbage, it's trash. Oh, that deep dive was garbage. That PS5 reveal. No, dumb nuts. It wasn't a reveal. It was not a reveal. Where's the console? We didn't see the console. Sony didn't market it as a reveal. They said deep dive into the PlayStation 5 when it comes to the tech. When it comes to the specs. Not the console reveal. Shame of this industry. Shame. A shame. Now, we're going to move along here because you see, this is why I tell people that people need to pay attention and realize what's going on. And I'm telling you, Sony about to pull that rug. And when they pull that rug onto Microsoft, they're going to fall, bruh. And they better fill the Aaron Greenberg. They better come better. They literally better, bro, they have no choice but to come better than that Inside Xbox showcase that they gave us. Real recognize real. You guys know I state facts, man. You know I'm one of the realists to do this, man. You know what time it is. You know how I get down. Now, let's move along here. Now, speaking of the Unreal, and this is something else that they spin. The Unreal Engine 5 demo. Oh, it's just a tech demo. It's not even running on the system. You know what? I'm done with the stupidity. I'm literally done with the oh yeah, that's going to be running on everything else. Oh yeah, y'all getting hype over a demo? I'm done. I'm literally done with the stupidity. Alan Morton, as a software dev, I love the Cerny live stream. Thank you so much. You're a software dev. A software dev supporting the nation. We have a lot of developers that watches the stream and support the stream, by the way. Thank you so much for that $3.99. And people are just ridiculous. And so we're going to talk about this and listen to what Ed Boon have to say. So speaking of the Unreal 5 demo showcase a few days ago, Boon talked about his excitement and added that he believes that the new way of handling memory and loading is going to be huge. Once again, loading and memory. People don't even talk about the memory in the PS5, how ridiculously fast it is. All people are talking about is 10, 12, 12, 10, 10, 12, 12, 10. You might as well make a song out of it. 10, 12, T-flop, 10, 12, 10, 12. Who gives a doggone about 10 and 12? They just freaking numbers. Done, man. I'm people not even talking about the memory. They're not even talking about the memory. But they're talking about 1012. Not even talking about the SSD, but they're talking about 1012. That's how you know they're not true gamers. They want to sit here and act like they Einstein and they geniuses when it comes to floating numbers and calculations. They want to sit here and act like they better than everybody else when it comes to understanding tech. A lot of these fly-by-night YouTubers, they don't know nothing about technology. They claim to know, but they don't. Stop it before it's too late. Now, we're going to move along here, and this is what Ed Boon have to say. From our perspective, we also looking at the other games that are coming out and are excited about them. We all are gamers too. Once again, like I said in the beginning, in order for you to understand gamers, you have to be a gamer yourself. Otherwise, as a developer, if you're not, I repeat, if you are claiming to be a developer and you want to cater to gamers, you have to be a gamer yourself. Otherwise, that game ain't gonna be that good. I'm just gonna keep it real with you. Because graphics is not every freaking thing. You can have graphics and you have a terrible story, right? Terrible freaking story, terrible freaking gameplay. So all you're gonna play is the graphics? Come on, man. Don't be stupid and naive. Big Chef, let's get it popping, son. Hit that notification bell on all so you never miss out on what we got going on here. Let's get it. Gang, we out here. Now, listen to this. We are all gamers too. So everybody is kind of like, we are part of that audience. Just like I've been saying. Now listen to this. We are sitting there seeing I was he said he was riveted watching the PS5 and the Unreal 5 demo and going, that can't be real. Come on. That can't be real. We are all fans of that. Exactly. When I saw it, I said, oh my, for 8K textures? I'm like, bro, wait a minute. And automatically the fanboys, because it wasn't running on Series X, automatically they were like, oh, it's 1440p 30. Shut up. Shut your mouth. It's 1440p 30. It's gonna be on Series X. Oh, look at this video on this laptop. It runs better than the PS5. Fake, garbage, lies. That whole laptop crap that it runs better on a laptop over the PS5, fake garbage. Once again, trying to find a way to assassinate the PS5. Try to find a way to bring down the PS5. Are you dumb? Stop it before it's too late. Now, we're going to move along here. This is what he said. He said, to me, the graphics are kind of like a given. Obviously, because, yeah, of course it's a given. Considering how powerful these freaking consoles are, obviously it's a given for us to be getting 8K textures and all these freaking dynamic ray tracing, lighting, and all of this, shadows and everything. Like, obviously it's a given because of what we're getting. Come on now. Now we're going to move along. It says, okay, the graphics are going to be better. But this new memory of handling memory and loading and stuff like that is going to be huge. Dude, I can't stress it enough. Guys, girls, can't stress it enough. Start praising memory and SSD before you praise graphics and T-flops. Graphics and T-flops is down at the bottom. SSD and memory is really going to take advantage when it comes to gameplay. These two at the top is going to benefit from gameplay and everything that we're going to be experiencing. The memory and the SSD are the two prime candidates. Can't stress it enough. Ed Boon shouldn't have to come out here and break it down. That's how stupid and fundamental the industry is, into thinking that T-flops and graphics is more important than SSD and memory. You don't have to be a tech wizard to know that. Stupid, pathetic. All right, now a bit of history lesson here that I think a lot of people can definitely appreciate, and I think this makes a lot more sense for you guys. So former EA Frostbite software engineer breaks down Mark Cerny's PS5 hardware, I repeat, PS5 hardware deep dive. They said it was a reveal. They to this day keep saying, oh, that PS5 reveal was garbage. Anyways, I'm done. I'm so freaking done right now. Now we're gonna move along here because it gets a little bit much more interesting for you guys. So former EA Frostbite software engineer Yang, I ain't gonna pronounce his last name, has shared a new video in which he breaks down Mark Cerny's PS5 hardware deep dive from early this year. Now, the software engineer who is currently actively working on his own Hazel game engine recently shared a video in which he provides great insight into Epic's Unreal Engine 5 tech demo, and in his latest video he reacts to Sony's deep dive that is, I would say, intended for this year's GDC event. So I'm gonna go ahead here and show you guys this video because I think a lot of people need to realize what the heck is going on here. So we're gonna go ahead and take a deep dive on this one here. And you know, this is why I say people need to pay attention to developers. Pay attention to developers because they're the ones making the game, not us, not these fly-by-night people that say, oh, it's T-flop count. All right, so here we go.
Not turning into a reaction channel. Hey, what's up guys, my name is Shono, and today we're going to be talking about the PlayStation 5, specifically watching and reacting to the PlayStation 5 technical details deep dive video by Mike Cerny. So last week I put up my reaction to the new Unreal Engine 5 demo, and so many of you requested that I make a reaction to the PlayStation 5 video, and specifically this Mike Cerny deep dive video. Now, unlike the Unreal Engine 5 video, I have not seen a single second of this video whatsoever. I have no idea what it's about. I'm assuming it's PS5. So far, the only thing I know is that it's called The Road to PS5. It's 52 minutes and 44 seconds long, which is very long, so we'll see what happens here. We might end up splitting this into like multiple parts, or I might end up skipping through this depending how much is here. I don't know, we'll see what happens. I don't know how to react to this video, how to deal with it, because I haven't seen it yet. And that will be a great joy to the number of you who suggested that I should retitle.
Thank you so much.
Because it's not a reaction if I've seen it.
No spamming, no spamming.
Since when does the word react mean the first time you see
it's all the way up.
the same tennis ball at you twice, are you just not gonna react the second time? Just gonna hit you in the face. Anyway, consider this more of a purist reaction. So let's dive in and take a look at this video. First of all, even before I hit play, this has a lot of dislikes. I wonder why. Probably just all of the Xbox fanboys or PC Master Race fanboys. It's interesting.
See that? You hear what he said? All those dislikes from those Xbox and PC guys that just don't understand what the heck they're watching. It baffles me. All right, so this is a freaking a game engine developer. This is the type of person you need to listen to.
To me, because like consoles in general seem to have so much hate attached to them, especially from people who just, you know, always maintain that PCs are superior, everyone should be gaming on PCs, and I just don't understand all of this hate. And obviously I don't know why these dislikes are here. I haven't watched the video yet, maybe it's complete trash, but from what I've heard, it's a very good video, and the stuff that they're revealing is really, really cool, so I am actually really interested to dive in. I don't think that consoles should just be completely disregarded. I don't think that, like, this is a complex topic, and this isn't really like Cherno's thoughts on consoles, but I did just want to say that as a game developer and as someone in the industry, making a game for a console is a completely different experience to making a game for a PC. People don't really consider this too much from the actual creator's perspective. They just kind of look at it from the user and say that, oh, well, you know, my computer's more powerful than this console. I can do this, I can do that, I can customize it, I can, you know, why would anyone play on a console? It's just complete trash, keyboard and mouse is better, all of that stuff, and I get that, and that's fine. That's fine. In fact, the few games that I do play, I do mostly play on PC. But I do want to say that consider this from the creator's point of view. If you're making a game,
please tell them.
Work with a computer is a completely different experience and a completely different set of challenges to making it work with a console. You see, computers are all different. They have completely different sets of hardware.
Please tell them.
They might be super powerful, they might be super not powerful, they might be super weak, right? So when someone makes a game for a computer, they need to spend a lot of time basically degrading their game so that it can work on a wide variety of hardware. They have to come up with all of these different tiering settings. Like, you need to have like a low tier, a mid tier, a high tier, an ultra tier. You know, a huge amount of graphic settings need to get exposed. But when you're a creator working on your piece of art, which is your game, you're not working at it in like some kind of degraded lower quality. you're working at it at the highest quality possible because it's your artwork, it's your baby. And
Yep.
what happens is you need to make sure that you basically sacrifice the quality of your piece of art so that people with lower spec systems can actually play this game. And that can be painful. You know, that can be painful for a game developer. Whereas if you're developing a game for a console, you can basically guarantee that the exact same experience
go, man.
you are designing
Yep.
will be had by the players who actually play your game. The people who enjoy your art are going to see your art in the way that you made it.
Yep.
That's special. You know, that is very special. Whereas with PC, who knows what kind of system they're running? Maybe
Please
they'll hate the
preach.
game because you can't deliver the same kind of atmosphere because their system just can't handle it. So anyway,
Yes.
don't hate on consoles, don't hate on PC. Let's just enjoy.
Marlon, you should become the new chief of PS5.
Okay,
Thank you.
Sorry about that. Let's get back into the video.
All right, here we go, guys. Here we go.
Hi, I'm
All right. Let's skip this ad and we're gonna get right into it. Thank you. Let's go.
Unfortunately, we had to cancel the talk that we had
Bikes, what's up?
planned for GDC. But we do have
I don't know
some
if I should
super
skip this
exciting
kind
news
of
about
intro.
PS5. And
I guess not. I think what I might do with this video, because again it is extremely long, is I might just, we'll see how it goes. I don't know what to do yet. I don't know what to say yet at this point in the video, but I don't really want to skip any of it, so I might just edit out me watching it, and only kind of, I guess, include the interesting parts.
better to bring that to
But either way, let me know what you guys think in the comments below, because like obviously like this is, you know, this is made for you guys to enjoy, and if I'm just ruining everything, then well,
and the one and only
sorry.
Mark Cerny. Without further ado, over to you, Mark.
Mike Cerny almost sounds like Journey.
Here we go. There you go, the man.
There'll be lots of chances later on this
Oh, too loud? Okay.
PlayStation 5 games. Today, I want to talk a bit about our goals for the PlayStation 5 hardware and how they influenced the development of the console.
I just want to say, like, and again, nothing started yet, but I'm not looking at this as some kind of PC elitist who knows that this platform is going to be trash compared to a computer. First of all, just so that you guys are aware that even though, like, in general, consoles are situated at a lower price bracket, which does sacrifice quality. You know, you can't, like, a 2080 Ti is what, like $2,000 or something like that. Like, obviously, that kind of level of hardware cannot be in a console because otherwise it would cost a lot of money.
Exactly.
I realize that, but I'm still not looking at this being like, oh, it's going to be so much worse than PC. I'm actually really excited about this, and theoretically speaking, this has every chance to be better and to kind of facilitate better games in both graphical fidelity and in I guess experience than a computer. It has the potential, and I haven't heard anything about this platform yet.
Wow.
I mean, about like a couple of years ago, I think we did get some, back when I worked at EA, we did get some specs of the PlayStation 5, and I remember reading a little bit through them. They were like super confidential, and I'm sure a lot has changed since then. Obviously, I don't have a copy of that, and obviously I don't remember that. So we'll see. That's all I've heard. Since then, I have not heard anything about the PlayStation 5 or the new Xbox.
I think you all know I'm a big believer in console generations. Once every 5 or 6 or 7 years, a console arrives with substantially new capabilities. There's a lot of learning by the game developers, hopefully not too overwhelming, and soon there's games that could never have been created before. Now, it used to be that as a console designer, you'd somehow intuit what would be the best set of capabilities for the new console, and then build it in complete secrecy. For the PlayStation consoles, that period lasted through PlayStation 3, a powerful and groundbreaking console, but also one that caused quite a lot of heartache, as it was initially difficult to develop games for. So,
Yeah, the PlayStation 3, like for those of you who don't know, like it had a slightly different architecture. It had like cell processors and stuff like that. It just, you know, it has something called an SPU. It was designed in a different way where it was just not as easy to program for as just a standard kind of like PC-like architecture. And because of that, because it was kind of, I guess, a new hardware architecture, it took people, like some people like just did not know how to write good quality software for it, but it also just took the industry as a whole a little bit of time to get used to it. But what's interesting is the games that did actually leverage that architecture properly, they ended up really excelling, because the architecture, whilst unique and whilst special, did provide kind of difficulties in the games industry for certain people and certain studios. If used correctly, which was a difficult thing to do, then it really did deliver.
Starting with PlayStation 4, we've taken a different approach, roughly centered around 3 principles. The first of these is listening to the developers, which is to say that a lot of what we put into a console derives directly from the needs and aspirations of the game creators. We definitely do have some ideas of our own, but at the core of our philosophy for designing consoles is that game players are here for the fantastic games. Which is to say that game creators matter. Anything we can do to make life easier for the game creators or help them realize their dreams, we will do. So
that's really important, obviously, because the people making the content are not going to be necessarily the people making the platform. It's like when you're making a game engine, you want to listen to the people who are using your game engine to see what exactly you should put into the game engine, what kind of workflows they expect, the difficulties that they're encountering.
So about once every 2 years, I take a tour of the industry. I go to the various developers and publishers, sit down, and discuss how they're doing with the current consoles and what they'd like to see in future consoles. This requires the road, as reaching the bulk of the game creators involves talking to well over 100 people at something like 24 publishers and developers. And it is incredibly valuable.
Wow.
Maybe a recent high school graduate or a university student.
Let's wait for this ad to go away. All right, there we go.
By the way, the feature most requested by the developers, that was an SSD, which we were very happy to have in the hardware, but a lot of problem solving was required.
Wait, you heard what he just said? Wait, let me go back right there.
The feature most requested by the developers, that was
The feature that is most requested by developers is the SSD. Didn't I just, before all of this, before we watching this developer from EA, right, break this thing down, didn't I just told you guys how important the SSD is? That SSD is the true king of this generation and not freaking graphics and T-flop numbers. I just said it, and that's what I'm saying. People need to rewatch what Mark Cerny was talking about. Like, it's a lot of gems that's involved in there. He said what game developers was asking for, SSD. The SSD is so important to developers that they asked Sony that, hey, look, we need to see this. We need to have the SSD in here. Man, bruh.
which we were very happy to put in the hardware, but a lot of problem solving was required. I'll be doing a deep dive on the SSD and surrounding systems.
Yeah, now I've heard a lot of things about the SSD, and in fact, without really knowing about the SSD capabilities of the PlayStation 5 and the Unreal Engine video, I did kind of like suggest that an SSD is probably playing a huge role in what was able to be achieved in that demo. I think the primary reason why developers asked for an SSD and why that's so important is because more and more of the game's assets are becoming extremely large. Developers are trying to develop higher quality assets, and higher quality assets, like simply put, they take up more data. They take up more bytes of data. Like they're bigger.
Please tell them.
Because they're bigger, you have to be very careful about what you actually keep on the GPU RAM, what you actually keep on the CPU RAM.
Exactly.
You have to be a little bit more
and this is why I say, right, this whole time I've been saying this, the SSD is going to play it's going to play a much more bigger role than the actual RAM and the processor and the graphics card. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a whole family together, but the SSD is going to play so much of a bigger role. That way, don't have to put so much pressure on the GPU and the CPU. Oh, God. I hope you guys are paying attention to this EA developer.
Specific about what it is that we need to actually have in our GPU memory for immediate rendering, and what we can just not even keep in CPU RAM anymore. Like it was kind of possible with lower resolution textures to just have the whole texture in memory all the time. But now, because of these extremely high quality assets, and because that's being pushed further and further, and, you know, not to mention like open worlds and the fact that we have just not even the quality of each asset is higher, but the amount of assets is higher. And we have all of this kind of data to deal with. because of all of this, we need to be able to actually stream the data straight from disk into like RAM and then eventually put it into like GPU RAM or something like that based on how it's required. But the point is that that's becoming a real bottleneck, because if the disk speed is just not fast enough for us to be able to immediately say, oh, I need that asset and I need it into my GPU RAM as soon as possible because I need to display it on the screen like now. That's a huge limitation, that's a huge bottleneck, and that was stopping a lot of developers from being able to just simply use larger sets of data because, well, the disk just can't keep up.
Wow.
PCs obviously, like recently, just the SSD.
Yeah, she is.
PC with M.2 SSDs and all of that stuff, they're extremely fast, and that's not so much a problem. But with consoles, that was
later on in this talk.
That was a bit of an issue.
It's also key to make a generational leap while keeping the console sufficiently familiar to game developers. I think about this in terms of balancing evolution and revolution. Now, with PlayStation 1, 2, and 3, the target was a revolution each time with a brand new feature set. That was great in many ways, but time for the developers to get up and running got longer with each console.
Wow.
In the past, I've called this time to triangle. Here's what I had for those 3 consoles.
Wow.
To be clear, I'm not talking
Time to triangle.
Triangle.
Is quite a popular kind of metric.
about time to make it.
It can mean a lot of things.
What's up, team?
In this case, he's basically just saying that, like, okay, let's just say this, you have a new platform, right? Here's a PlayStation 3, right? I want you to get a triangle on the screen, like from scratch. How long is that going to take you? And obviously, like, the lower that time to triangle is, the easier it is to do things with that platform. So
Wow.
in OpenGL, a time to, like, if you're writing an OpenGL program, time to triangle is very fast. It's not like particularly difficult to do that, especially with like legacy OpenGL or DirectX 9, for example. Really fast time to triangle because everything is fixed function, everything is really simple. Modern versions of OpenGL, a little bit longer. And then if you look at something like Vulkan, your time to triangle is going to be a long time because you have to set up everything. It's going to be very long. So that's another example.
Developers
of
will
that metric.
be ambitious.
Wow.
It might take them 6 years or so to realize their vision. What I'm talking about is that dead time before graphics and other aspects of game development are up and running, and trying to minimize that.
Wait,
One of the great challenges.
Yeah, one of the great challenges is you need to get off my screen. All right, thank you.
On the other hand, if we're trying to reduce that dead time to 0, that means the hardware architecture can't change at all. We're handcuffed. We need to judge for each feature what value it adds and whether it's worth the increase in developer time needed to support it. So with PlayStation 4, we were able to strike a pretty good balance.
I really like this guy's like talk, by the way. He's like, very good at presenting, which is like refreshing to see in this industry.
And familiarity. We got required learning back to PlayStation 1 levels. With PS5, the GPU was definitely the area we felt the most tension between adding new features and keeping a familiar programming model. Ultimately, I think we've ended up with something under a month of getting up to speed.
Wow.
That feels like we're striking about the right balance.
Under a
I'll
month.
go into a bit more detail later today about the philosophy with the GPU and the specific feature set that resulted from it. It's also very important for us, as the hardware team, to find new dreams, by which I mean something other than CPU performance, GPU performance, and the amount of RAM. The increase in graphics performance over the past 2 decades has been astonishing, but there are other areas in which we can innovate and provide significant value to the game creators, and through them, the players. That's why the SSD was very much on our list of directions to explore, regardless of what came out of the conversations with game developers. And
Wow.
the biggest feature in this category is the custom engine for audio. That's today's final topic. The push for vastly improved audio, and in particular, 3D audio, isn't something that came out of the developer meetings. It's much more the case that we had a dream of what might be possible 5 years from now, and then worked out a number of steps we could take to set us on that path.
Wow.
So here again are the 3 principles. The first being enabling the desires of developers to drive the hardware design.
Wow.
To me, the SSD really is the key to the...
By the way, I'm definitely gonna watch this whole video. I know we're only 5 minutes in, and I'll probably end up splitting this up into multiple videos, like in terms of my reaction, because I'm sure there's a lot I'm gonna want to say about this. But I'm definitely watching this whole thing. It's really interesting so far. And I do want to know everything about this video.
It's a game changer, and it was the #1 ask from developers for PlayStation 5. As in, we know it's probably impossible, but can you put an SSD in it? That was a discussion we were also having internally. It was clear that the presence of a hard drive in every PlayStation 4 was having a positive impact. A lot of things that would simply have been impossible at Blu-ray disc speeds were now possible. At the same time, though.
Yeah,
Wow, see that?
Disc speeds. I was thinking about more or less games that required an install, because that was a lot of games were kind of doing that. Blu-ray did, yeah, that's even worse.
In 2015
so yes,
and 2016, when we were having these
But that's also kind of to be expected, because a lot of this stuff is moving to a digital marketplace. Lots of games while still kind of sold on Blu-ray discs, and you know, we're talking about like 50 gigabytes of data there probably, if not more. You know, that kind of, I still feel like as the industry as a whole obviously is more or less gravitating towards like streaming services for games, meaning that you can like you purchase like a subscription, and then you get like kind of like EA Play, I guess. You get like a set amount of games that you can kind of use in your library, and all of that is like a digital marketplace where you can also purchase games. And a lot of games are only distributed digitally, so it obviously makes sense that like discs are kind of going to be coming out of phase, and so are physical game stores and I guess game copies, right? And then it's more or less moving towards something like Steam for PC.
Conversations. Developers were already banging up against the limits of the hard drive, and a lot of development time was being spent designing around slow load speeds. I want to focus in on just one number here, which is how long it takes to load a gigabyte of data.
Wow. Wow.
The difficulty being that hard drives are neither particularly fast nor flexible. If all your data is in one block, which is frankly not very likely, you can load 50 to 100 megabytes a second, depending on where the data is located. Let's assume it's on the outer edge, which means loading a gigabyte takes 10 seconds. If you compress your game packages, you can fit more data on the Blu-ray disc and also effectively boost your hard drive read speed by the compression ratio.
Wow.
We support zlib decompression on PlayStation 4 that gets you something like 50% more data on the disc and 50% higher effective read speed.
Wow.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, so this is part of the thing that people don't really consider as well. Compression, right?
Yeah.
So obviously storing raw assets is probably almost never done, especially because discs, obviously, both hard drive installations and like Blu-ray discs have a finite amount of space, and it might not be enough. Everything is pretty much always compressed. Now, when you compress things, you're basically playing with like a little bit of a trade-off here. You can trade
quality
your CPU time or your decompression kind of time for less disk space. So in other words, instead of occupying like 100 megabytes of data, maybe this kind of texture asset or something occupies 50 megabytes of data. However, it's not ready for me to send to the GPU immediately as is. I can't just read the data off the disk and immediately give it to my GPU. I mean, obviously GPUs have like, the texture's probably not the greatest example, because obviously there are compression formats for textures that actually are decoded at like on the GPU at sample time and all of that stuff, so we'll just ignore that analogy. But the point is, you know, you have an asset, you can't just immediately send it to the GPU or process it on the CPU or do whatever you need with that asset before you decompress it. However, it's less data to read. So the point is, if you have a fast CPU and a slow disk, it's a lot better to kind of compress stuff and then kind of read it in and then have the CPU do the work on it if you read less data than it is to read double the data and do nothing on the CPU to it, because it's already in the right format. You don't need to transform it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what he's talking about here, that it, and he mentions zlib as a decompression library. Like zlib is a fairly heavy decompression like library. It's not, for example, like LZ4 is something that is a lot faster to decompress, but the file sizes are larger. Zlib actually compresses like quite well. It's fairly like, the decompression time is going to be slower, but obviously in this case the disk is, he's reinforcing the fact that the disk is so slow that they're actually using rather heavy compression to kind of get around that.
It's highly likely that your data is scattered around in various files on the hard drive, as well as sourced from multiple locations within those files. So lots of seeks are needed at 2 to 50-ish milliseconds each. My rule of thumb is that the hard drive is spending 2/3 of its time seeking and only 1/3 of its time actually loading data. Putting all of that together, a gigabyte is very roughly,
That's why it's so important to keep your data together. It doesn't matter if it's in RAM or on disk, you know.
20 seconds to load from a hard drive.
Right now.
So far, you see, that's why I say.
Now, a gigabyte is not much data. Games are using 5 or 6 gigabytes of RAM on PlayStation 4, so boot times and load times can get pretty grim. Or to put that differently, as a player, you wait for the game to load, wait for the game to load, wait for the level to reload every time you die, and you wait for what is euphemistically called fast travel.
Yep.
And all of that leads to the dream. What if we could have not just an SSD, but a blindingly fast SSD?
Wow.
We could load 5 gigabytes a second from it. What would change?
Wow.
Now, SSDs are completely different from hard drives. They don't have seeks as such.
Yep.
You have a 5
Instant.
gigabyte
It's instant.
You can read data from 1,000 different locations in that second, pretty much at speed. As for time to load a gigabyte, this is next gen we're talking about, so memory is bigger. Instead, we should be asking how long to load 2 gigabytes. And the answer is about 1/4 of a second. I mean, that's amazing. We're talking 2 orders of magnitude, meaning very roughly 100 times faster. Which means at 5 gigabytes a second for the SSD, the potential is...
Now, this is a huge jump, obviously. You guys don't need me to tell you that. You can see that from the numbers. But I do want to point out that the hard drive on the PlayStation, like, not the best. So, yes, it's a huge jump, and this is really good that this is a thing now. Don't get me wrong, I'm not at all saying that it's not that good. It's brilliant. But it's even more brilliant because of how bad it used to be.
Was that the game boots in a second?
All right, I just installed ad blocker, so we're good. What's up?
Gigabytes and fades back up again. Same for a reload. You're immediately back in the action after you die. Fast travel becomes so fast it's blink and you miss it. And
Wow.
as creators, we go from trying to distract
What's gonna happen to all the tips that are displayed during loading screens? I'm not gonna know how to play these
player from
games.
how long fast travel
What's up, Messina?
like those Spider-Man subway rides, to being so blindingly fast that we might even have to slow that transition down.
Wow.
Right?
See?
For me, it's not the primary reason to change from a hard drive to an SSD. The primary reason for an ultra-fast SSD is that it gives the game designer freedom.
Freedom. Ah, let me pause. Hold up. I just told you guys this 2 or 3 shows back, right? Now we're hearing this developer talking about, he's about to talk about it, but I said this before. People did not pay attention to Mark Cerny's deep dive, because here's the thing. That SSD is going to be the biggest game changer. Ed Boon you guys saw me talk about Ed Boon a while ago, and Ed Boon said that people talking about graphics, what the graphics look like, it's the SSD. And this is what I need you guys to leave the show with today. SSD, rivet that down in your head. The SSD is going to be the true game changer, not just for loading times, but for game development as well. Like I've been saying this whole time, it's not about the freaking T-flop number. It's about that SSD. The SSD is the biggest game changer. Forget about how much T-flop the GPU have, how fast is the CPU. It is about that SSD, guys, right? Because you see the Halo developer, you see Xbox marketing director praise the PS5. First party, third party developers praise the PS5 because of the SSD and how easy it is to develop for. Now, we need to lift the curtains a little bit here and understand that the SSD is why it's so easy. It's why it's so freaking easy to develop for on the PS5. Developers are just so happy because they have so much more freedom. Do you know what you're gonna have with so much more freedom? You could get more creative. You could just do so much stuff. It's like there's no boundaries to what you can do. You know what I'm saying? Because you have freedom. Developers like to have freedom when they're developing games. They don't want to feel like they're restricted. Like, dang it, I got to write this code to get it to the CD and then try to get it to the GPU, then try to get it to the processor. Like, it's so much easier now. Oh my God.
He said, by the way, about slowing down, that reminds me of like when I first started making games and I was still in high school and all of that. My games were obviously so simple and so dumbed down, and like that they had like no loading screens. Everything was pretty much instantaneous. But I actually wanted to have a loading screen and a little progress bar because I was like, well, all games have that. I want to have that as well. And so I added like some thread sleeps in there just to make the loading screen like longer so that I could display something. And so, yeah.
Put that differently. With a hard
funny.
drive, the 20
This
seconds
is
that
like
it
a
takes
reality
to load
now.
a gigabyte can sabotage differently. With a hard drive, the 20 seconds that it takes to load a gigabyte can sabotage the game that the developer is trying to create.
Wow.
Yeah.
I think almost all of us in the room have experienced this, maybe in different ways. Say we're making an adventure game and we have two rich environments where we each want enough textures and models to fill memory, which you can do as long as you have a long staircase or elevator ride or a windy corridor where you can ditch the old assets and then take 30 seconds or so.
Don't worry, I answer your questions.
Yeah, so that's really, really common. You're basically forcing the player into some kind of limited area of the map where there aren't too many assets actually needed to interact with or to render. And then meanwhile, asynchronously, you're streaming in assets from disk. And that might take a while, but that's fine because some other thread's doing that in the background. As long as the player manages to get to where the new assets are required in a longer time than it takes to actually stream in the assets onto the GPU and the CPU for like interaction and rendering and all of that stuff, then you're fine. But obviously designing your game around that can be problematic. It works for a lot of games, like there's, you know, they just kind of, you know, again, the developers design around that. They make these corridors, not necessarily because it adds to the story or the experience of their, you know, artwork of their game, but because like it's necessary. So yeah, let's make a corridor here. It can be hurtful.
Having a 30-second elevator ride is a little extreme. More realistically, we'd probably chop the world into a number of smaller pieces and then do some calculations with sight lines and run speeds like we did for Haven City when we were making Jack 2. The game is 20 years old, but not much has changed since then. All those twisty passages are there for a reason. A whole subset of level design dedicated to this sort of work,
Yeah,
but still, it's a
sure.
giant distraction for a team that just wants to make their game.
It is, and the thing is, like, you're seeing the industry, like, moving towards this kind of, like, just works mentality, and that's really good. Obviously, it's really good when the person who says it just works actually means it, but the point is that having to deal with limitations can be not only disheartening and annoying, but it can really take the fun out of making a game. And when you're dealing with a creative industry, taking fun out of things, keeping people not in like a good kind of happy, positive attitude, that can hurt that resulting creativity. And that's a bad thing. If you can keep your developers, your artists, everyone happy, because instead of, again, worrying about how they're gonna add another corner into this level because like they just really can't, they've already added like 5 of them, they're sick of this, they can't do this, like it's just not gonna, this is gonna be ridiculous. People are gonna play my game and be like, why are there so many corners? But they have to, because otherwise it's not gonna work, or they can't, or they have to reduce the quality of their assets in their game. Like, that's very, very, very bad. All right,
Wow.
I just overheated. So hopefully that doesn't happen again, otherwise we really will have to split up this video. Anyway, my point is, if developers can just focus on making the actual game and, you know, using their creativity, and the tools are not getting in the way of the job, that's just gonna result in better games. People miss this all the time. People think that, oh, why did they make this game like this? Why didn't they make, like, you know, Battlefield used to ship with 20 maps, now it ships with 8, or Battlefront used to ship with, like, you know, Battlefront 2, the original, had like a billion maps and so many playable characters, and now this Battlefield has like 8 maps or 4 maps or
Like,
whatever
what's
it is.
going on?
Battlefront,
Yeah.
sorry. People say these things, but they don't realize how much harder it is to make content at this quality bar, not just because of the fact that they have to spend more time putting more details into their environments, into their characters everywhere, but because the hardware, the hardware is also getting in the way.
Yeah.
And being able to kind of put that aside and make this really easy and make everyone be able to express their ideas in a super, super good way, that is, I think, the single most important part of this industry. To make tools and platforms that do not get in the way of humans and their ideas and their creativity.
So when I talked about the dream of an SSD, part of the reason for that 5 GB a second target was
Still recording.
to eliminate but also part of the reason for that target was streaming. As in, what if the SSD is so fast that as the player is turning around, it's possible to load textures for everything behind the player in that split second?
Wow.
Figure that it takes half a second to turn, that's 4.
By the way, if that were possible, that means that, again, you don't have to split your world up into chunks. You don't have to worry about like, oh, I need this, I need that, because every single asset, like visual only asset. So like, obviously, if you still need AI running in the background, colliding with things and pathfinding and all that, you still need the basic mesh for the world geometry and all of that loaded, and you'll need other assets like always, for example, present in RAM, but luckily those assets are generally a lot smaller than really high detailed models and textures and all of that stuff. So if that were possible, you wouldn't need to worry about like corridors or even worry about splitting up the world into anything. The world would literally be pretty much infinite,
instantaneous. Yep.
Because it's only showing what you're looking at. And unless there's a section where you can overlook the entire world and everything has to be in like max detail, which it probably wouldn't be because certain things would be so far away that you wouldn't really need to you'd have like some kind of proxy for them, like a lower LOD mesh, or some kind of, with Unreal Engine 5, I guess, some kind of, triangle culling thing that just figures out what you actually need. All of that stuff. If you can have that stuff, like, unless you have that huge kind of overlooking thing, the actual, like, view of the player usually is rather small. And that's really cool. Obviously, if you're dealing with, like, a level editor where you're trying to design the world, and, like, the developers are using this tool to create this world, and they would want to see a lot of it at once, a lot more than the player usually. But
Gigabytes of
in general, this is really good.
That sounds about right for next gen. Anyway, back to the hard drive. Another strategy for increasing effective read speed is to make big sequential chunks of data. For example, we might group all the data together for each city block. That removes most of the seeks, and the streaming gets faster. There's a downside too, which is that frequently used data is included in many chunks and therefore is on the hard drive many, many times. Marvel's Spider-Man uses this strategy, and though it works very well for increasing the streaming speed, there's a massive duplication as a result. Some of the objects like mailboxes or news racks are on the hard drive 400 times.
Wow. That's crazy.
That cramp a creative style. Either level design gets a little bit boring.
Yeah, so again, sometimes it's necessary to have a duplication of assets because they're part of a different chunk, and if you always have them in one location on the hard drive and you always have to again fetch from everywhere, that can actually be a lot slower than being able to say, okay, I need all of this streamed in at once, and obviously that's resulting in duplication here.
The data is duplicated so many times that it no longer fits on the Blu-ray disc. And you end up with hard limits on the player's run speed or driving speed. The player can't go faster than the load speed from the hard drive.
Yep.
And finally, I'm sure many of you have noticed that after a patch download, the PlayStation 4 will sometimes take a long time to install the patch. That's because when just part of a file has been changed, the new data can be downloaded pretty quickly. But before the game boots up, a brand new file has to be constructed that includes the changed portion. Otherwise, every change would add a seek or two. Even so, you can occasionally see this happening on game titles. They start to hitch once they get patched enough. With an SSD,
that's interesting. I haven't had too much experience with like developing for consoles and all that, so I've never really noticed this, but this is really interesting.
No seeks, so no need to make brand new files with the changes incorporated into them, which means no installs as you know them today.
This is crazy.
One more benefit, which is that system memory can be used much more efficiently. On PlayStation 4, game data on the hard drive feels very distant and difficult to use. By the time you realize you need a piece of data, it's much too late to go out and load it. So system memory has to contain all of the data that could be used in the next 30 seconds or so of gameplay.
Yeah.
A lot of the 8...
Yeah, because the disk is too slow. RAM is obviously a lot faster, so you have to make sure that you don't literally pause your game because you're relying on disk load speeds.
Gigabytes of system memory is idle. It's just
this is crazy.
To be potentially used. On PlayStation 5, though, the SSD...
Because if the player suddenly makes a sharp left turn and then you just, oh, I need that asset, then it better be in RAM, because if it's not, then...
Yeah, you're screwed. You see a big...
of just either
empty textures.
Synchronously loaded, or just like a pause.
Is close to being like more RAM. Typically, it's fast enough to realize
oh, this is dope.
You can just load it from the SSD and use it. There's no need to have lots of data parked in system memory waiting to potentially be used. A different way of saying that is that most of RAM is working on the game's behalf. This is one of the reasons that 16 gigabytes of GDDR6 feels right for PlayStation 5. The presence of the SSD reduces the need for a massive intergenerational increase in size.
Wow.
So
Yeah, they don't need to have 128 gigabytes of RAM or anything like that because the SSD is so fast that they just, you know, I'm actually really interested to see the difference in speed between RAM and the SSD. I'm sure it's still quite large, and obviously, like, this is a different, like, architecturally speaking, you know, you need RAM because RAM is what the CPU actually communicates with. The CPU does not immediately get data from disk and then start processing it. It has to go through the RAM, to actually be, you know, for the CPU instructions to actually do anything. Not to mention that's where the CPU instructions are. They're in the RAM. But I'm still interested to see what the actual speed difference would be between RAM and SSD, which again, like, doesn't make too much sense because the SSD speed is only going to be as fast as the RAM speed because, as I just mentioned,
because they feed off each other.
Data to get to the CPU has to go through RAM.
But everything has to go through RAM.
the dream of the SSD. Here's the set of
Wow.
Use the game in a second. No load screens. Design freedom, meaning no twisty passages or long corridors. More game on the disk and more game on the SSD.
Yeah, and the deduplication of game data is relevant because of the zero seek time that an SSD has.
And finally, those patch installs go away. The reality, though, is that the SSD is just one piece of the puzzle. There's a lot of bottlenecks can occur in between the SSD and the game code that uses the data. You can see this on PlayStation 4. If I use an SSD with 10 times the speed of a standard hard drive, I probably see only double the loading
speed.
For PlayStation 5, our goal was not just that the SSD itself be 100 times faster. It was that game loads and streaming would be
100 times faster.
That's
crazy.
Every single potential bottleneck needed to be addressed, and there are a lot of them.
Wow.
Let's look at.
I'm very impressed, by the way, so far. Like,
wow.
I don't know the technical details of how they've achieved this, and I don't know how real it is. Obviously, like, I assume it's accurate, but what he's saying so far, like, this is a big technical achievement. And I think with that, we'll probably pause there for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little preliminary look at the PlayStation 5. We're about 14 minutes and 6 seconds in. I'm not going to watch the video until the next time I sit down and do this.
But you see, this is coming from an actual developer, guys, and I wanted you guys to actually see that. And so for people who were patient with me throughout the whole showing of this, I just put all of that up there. I know I see in the comments people saying, oh, fanboy this. Look, let's get one thing clear. All right. So you guys understand what the heck is going on here. Okay. The PS5 is getting a whole lot more praise than the Series X. Right. And at the end of the day, I'm not saying that developers is not talking about the Series X. Yes, they are, but not as much as the PS5. You know what I'm saying? And so in order for developers to be able to take advantage of that Series X, they would have to really, it's going to take them a long time to take advantage of all that extra power. Whereas with the PS5, it's so fast, so easy to develop for, you know, that's why everybody's talking about the PS5 as much. So it doesn't have anything to do with fanboy. It has the fact to do with the game developers. They're the ones that's developing the games. They're the one that's talking about the PlayStation 5, you know what I'm saying, and talking about both systems, like the advantages and disadvantages, but both systems are going to be great, right? So at the end of the day, it's like if you have a faster SSD in one, remember the PS5 has faster SSD and it has faster memory, okay? And so the memory, like I said before, the memory is very, very important. You know what I'm saying? Very, very important when it comes to a computer, because the CPU can't do nothing without the freaking memory, right? The GPU can't do nothing without the freaking memory. The SSD can't do nothing without it. So the memory is very important. The memory is like almost like the brain you know what I'm saying, of any computer, because you could put a CPU, GPU, SSD, and if you don't put any memory, how's the computer going to work? Because you need the freaking memory. You need the freaking memory. You know, so that's what I'm saying. That's what I've been saying to everyone about this whole situation. So people just need to understand that deep dive had so much knowledge in there that I think a lot of people just overlook, and they want to sit here and say, oh, you're a fanboy. Oh, you're a Sony pony. Oh, you're this. Oh, you're that. But the Series X, like I've been saying, is going to be a beast of a console. It's up to developers to push that system and to make it the drool that it's supposed to be. But at the same time, if you look at the headlines, if every time you turn around, it's another developer talking about what? The PS5. What the PS5 can do, right? So it's just, that's just what it is. Both systems are going to be great. I do believe that when developers catches up to the full potential of the Series X, we can start to see games that look slightly better, but it's not going to be a huge like highway difference that like some people making it out to be. You know what I'm saying? And so when it comes to the SSD, and when it comes, the reason why I play that whole thing, because I want you guys to actually see what the developer was actually talking about, because this is somebody that, you know, worked for EA at one point in time and understands game development. And those are the type of people that we need to pay attention to. We need to listen to, right? So we're going to move along here. Hopefully you guys found that informative, even though that was the deep dive thing, is our old video or our old live stream and what have you. And a lot of people was like, oh, I'm so bored, because people don't care about that stuff. You know what they care about? They care about stupid T-flop numbers that is part of the equation, small part of the equation, right? They care about graphics and all of this type of stuff, which is nothing wrong with caring about graphics. It's just that it's the least part of the equation. You know what I'm saying? So that's just what it is. All right, so we're going to move along here to something a bit more interesting. I think a lot of you guys can definitely appreciate this. And so Microsoft is investigating a massive Xbox data leak. And you know, this right here, this is crazy, man. I mean, where there's smoke, there's fire. It was not that long ago we heard about some sort of like source code leak for the Xbox Series X, and I think they were demanding $100 million, which is just ridiculous, right? $100 million they were demanding because somebody got hold of the Xbox Series X source code, right? And with the source code, you can do a lot of damage, you know what I'm saying, with the actual source code. But they said that it's not going to affect the launch of the system, which I don't even know if they actually resolved that particular issue. Now, according to The Verge, the leak actually first surfaced online earlier month, but only really began to draw attention this week. Speaking to the outlet, Microsoft confirmed it's aware of the reports, which have spawned an official investigation. That said, at the moment of publishing, Microsoft has not yet shared any of its findings, and it's unclear if it ever will. So this is interesting. Now I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a bit much more deeper dive into this whole data leak situation here. Now, the debut of the Xbox console doesn't have much of a emulation scene, at least compared to some nostalgic consoles, right? So obviously like Nintendo and some older PlayStation stuff, you know, it's not as big on the emulation side, you know what I'm saying, as far as those other companies or consoles. Now listen to this. And this is partially because it's very difficult to emulate the original Xbox operating system and the kernel due to the custom tech Microsoft used when creating the console. Now listen to this. As mentioned above, the source code for Windows NT 3.5 has also leaked. So the source code for Windows NT 3.5 is also leaked as well. That's crazy, because that plays a vital part right there as well, right? That whole that whole Windows NT. Now listen to this. And this source code is apparently for a near final version of it. All right. Now listen to this. It says, of course, we will sure to update this article as more information flows in, but there's a good chance Microsoft will silently nip this in the bud. And so this is kind of crazy, guys, because once again, we do have another source code situation here, or data leak for the Xbox. And so this is why I say that we need to really sort of pay attention here, because this is crazy. This is literally crazy. Now, we're going to move along here, guys. Sony files a patent for dynamic music creation in gaming. And so once again, just like with the DualSense, how Sony has been pushing like the envelope when it comes to the DualSense and adding the haptic feedback and the adaptive triggers and all of these really cool things, right? Well, Sony files a patent for dynamic music creation, and this is going to play a very vital role here. It says, while the PlayStation 5 launch draws closer, Sony continues to file several new patents, although these patents are necessarily related to the PS5. They often fuel speculation and all of that. All right. As discovered by Gaming Intel and Patent Scope, Sony Interactive Entertainment has filed a new patent for the dynamic music creation. This patent is specifically related to gaming. As confirmed by the title, it's unclear whether this will lie into the PlayStation 5. However, although more intricate details of this patent are currently unknown, it could hide towards music. All right, give me a second, guys. All right, guys, I'm back. Sorry about that. All right, so let's pick up where we left off. Although more intricate details of this patent are currently unknown, it could hint towards music based on emotions for next gen. It looks like the next gen can create a different kind of music based on how the player feels. The player's emotion will be subject to an environmental factors in the game and more presumably. So basically what's going to happen here is, like, while you're playing the game, it's going to change. Like, so if you're playing a scary game and let's say like you're gonna like feel it, like it's kind of hard to even put it into perspective, but an emotion is assigned to one or more musical motifs, if I'm saying that correctly, and a game vector is associated with the emotion. Now listen to this. They also have different diagrams and stuff like that to kind of basically display how this is going to work. So basically, as you're playing, it's going to kind of change the way how everything feels, like basically while you're playing the game, if that makes any sense. So it's going to be fully dynamic when it comes to like the music and stuff. Like, I'm guessing you're going to feel it through the DualSense controller. Like, this has something to do with the controller. So if you're playing a scary game and the music starting to change, you're going to feel it. Like it's going to throb. Like maybe like it might be a throbbing music, or it might be, I don't know, like it's kind of hard to put it in perspective, but once again, Sony is pushing the envelope once again with innovation and how they're doing things. So oh my god, man, it's just a lot of things to get excited about. There's a lot of things to get hype about. Now we're gonna move along here, guys, to something a bit more interesting, and this has to do with Metroid Prime Trilogy. Okay, now a retailer who stated Metroid Prime Trilogy was coming to Switch back in 2018, which we heard like we've seen a lot of listings for Metroid Prime Trilogy from Best Buy, from other retailers and everything. And so this is kind of crazy right now. Now listen to this. So Metroid Prime Trilogy was coming to Switch back in 2018, and updates their listing now claims June 19th. So apparently we're going to be getting this on the June 19th. So we'll see if we get this Metroid Prime Trilogy at that point in time. So only time will tell to see if this actually works out. Okay, and let me see here. Let me see. I think that's it. I think that's it as far as everything goes. I think this is it right here. A state of play for the PlayStation 5 will be held on June 5th at 1 p.m. PT. The presentation will show the games for the new console. Yeah, so who is this? I'm interested in the gaming industry. I follow the news of the new gen consoles. Sometimes I post insiders. Okay, so I don't know where they're actually getting this information from, but yeah, we're not gonna get too excited about that right now. All right, guys, so we're at the Q&A portion of the show. Real quickly, if you do have any questions or concerns, feel free to drop them on me right now as we get closer and closer and closer and closer here. And also, I wanted to throw something in here as well. Pre-order for the Series X is coming soon, apparently. This is coming from Brad Sams. All right, so pre-order is coming really soon, like soon for Series X. So we'll see, because this is actually on the, wait, let me show you guys real quick. Well, no, never mind. Pre-order is coming soon for the Series X. I think it's on the Series X page. Of course, Microsoft is probably going to quickly take that down. So if you guys Google something, it's going to come up with pre-order information or something like that. I guess when you go to the where it says the Series X on the actual Series X page, it seems as though that you'll be able to pre-order, like it's saying soon, like real soon or something change or something. So can't wait. Hopefully in June they can actually lift the lid on that and give us a little bit much more information. All right, so Q&A time, guys. Feel free to throw your questions away at your boy. All right, let's see what some of you guys are saying, and if you're hearing any background noise, guys, don't mind it at all. All right, let's see here. So if I play the Journey, is the music gonna change? It all depends. If they update it for the PS5 so it can take advantage of that, we'll see. Check Twitter. I just checked Twitter. If you go to the Xbox Scarlet trailer, they were talking about the SSD being the biggest thing, and so they stopped advertising now. It's T-flop. That's what I'm saying. It's just more on it's more along the lines of what they're thinking in their heads. You know what I'm saying? Like now, because Microsoft always been, talking about power. They talked about the SSD, but like I said, it's up to the developer. It's up to the developer at the end of the day, Let's see here. Summer of Gaming schedule drops tomorrow at 8 a.m. PT. Let's see here. Hey Marlon, if you want to know about the SSD, the GPU and CPU work together, there's a big video. Okay. Let's see here. What you ordering? Nothing right now. We're not ordering nothing like now right now. Let's see here. Are you going to watch the PS5 reveal event? Of course I am. Hey Marlon, the PS5 for console Sherlock Holmes Chapter 1. Okay, hey Marlon, which PS5 game should we buy first? I mean, we have to see the games first before we can think about buying anything, right? So after the reveal event, then that will be a valid answer. Marlon, why don't you do the same for Xbox Series X like you just did with the PS5? There's no deep dive on the Series X. Where's the deep dive video? Other than what they did with YouTubers. There's no deep dive video on the specs of the Series X other than what they've, break down. But there's no actual deep dive of it. So I can't do anything on it if there's nothing there. Let's see here. PS5 reveal time. Still waiting on that. I'm just trying to do some confirmation here. Let's see here. It says I'm being patient, Marlon, always. Okay, thank you. Let's see here. Marlon, which PS5 game has the best gameplay? There's nothing right now that we know of that's given us the best gameplay. We don't know anything yet. We haven't seen anything yet. So it's kind of hard to put your finger on something that you haven't seen yet. Hey KU, what's up, man? How you doing? I don't think the PS5 event is confirmed by Sony. It's not. That's just rumors that you guys are seeing. Like I said, we have to get confirmation this week on that. Marlon, will playing 2K be better on Xbox? We're just gonna have to see, man. We have to wait and see, because I mean, we know a lot of information about PS5, the DualSense, and how the speed of the SSD is, but we still got to see how these games are going to run on the system. I can't wait to see The Last of Us Part 2. Yeah, me too. What's up, family? What's up, man? How you doing? Let's see here. All right, let's see here. Sony wants to make the SSD 100 or 100,000 times faster in the PS5 than PS4. Cyberpunk. I mean, Marlon, will Sony wait on MS June event? I don't know. We're just gonna have to wait and see. I don't know, man. Let's see here. Marlon, do you think God of War 2 will release? Nah, that's probably 2023 or something like that. It's gonna be some time before that actually happens. Hey Marlon, do you play with subscribers on Xbox One X? Nope. I couldn't tell you the last time I even played my Xbox. There's nothing to play on there, man. Nothing to play. Everything is boring on Xbox right now. Nothing to play. Sherlock, okay. Marlon, any chance of all right, Marlon, any chance of new Tekken coming? Of course, probably, yeah, of course, man. Rumors is that Gran Turismo 7, yep, we've been hearing rumors on that. All right. Anyway, guys, let's see here. Marlon, you investing in a new TV? Shoot, I'm keeping the same old TV I got. I ain't doing nothing else. Same old TV I got. I'm still waiting for those back buttons. Oh yeah, you already know, man. Go watch Air Bears video. Okay. My Xbox was born. I drop text to it. Okay. Yeah, Matthias, you ain't got to do that, man. I already saw that already. You ain't got to keep doing that. I heard the PS5 is going to be powerful than the PS4. What do you mean nothing to play on Xbox One X? You got Game Pass, right? Yeah, I mean, what is so other than third-party stuff? I mean, Gears, Sea of Thieves. Who wants to play that? Not me. Oh man, not me at all. I heard you need a better monitor TV to get 120 FPS. I mean, yeah, you definitely do need that if you want to take full advantage of the system or the next gen hardwares of, you know, what they're offering. I saw the leaks and still hype. Okay, Jared, what's up, man? How you doing? Let's see here. I want to make sure I get it. Gears 5 is not a good game, bruh. Gears 5 was okay. It was okay. It's not nothing spectacular. It was okay. Loon, what's up, man? Hey Marlon, thanks for a good show. Anytime, man, anytime. That's why I do what I do. You know what I'm saying? That's why I have a lot of passion into this. I put a lot of passion, a lot of time, a lot of effort, you know what I'm saying, into this. And I just want you guys to know that. Do you think PlayStation will have the marketing on the new Batman game? Possible. Gears 5 is yeah, I was kind of disappointed in the story when I beated it. Marlon, what's your favorite game? Metal Gear. The original Metal Gear is one of my favorites. High up there. Let's see here. Let's see here. All Batman Game Pass only have Arkham Knight. Okay. Halo 5 story makes no sense, bruh. Yeah, that I wasn't a big fan of that. Dragon King, you just talking about a bunch of third-party stuff that I can play on other systems. James Standard said that the Xbox SSD was considered conservative. Okay. What's your favorite Xbox console? 360 and the original? Is the PS5 worth buying? Yes, heck yeah, it's worth buying, dude. For a lot of reasons. I mean, the fact that Sony is good with, you know, exclusives and all, and, you know, come on, man. There's a lot of different reasons. Something weird with PlayStation Plus. Sony confirmed Call of Duty World War II for June, but we're able to start May 26. Really? I saw something like that, and it kind of went over a little bit. I saw something like that. Yes, I will be streaming that that event for you guys on Wednesday. Oh, is it Wednesday, right? For the State of Play? Yes, I will be streaming that for you guys. Yes. Is you a huge fan of Persona? No, I haven't really got into Persona like that. PS Plus rumored to have Spider-Man. Okay, that's a good thing. Amazing show, Marlon. Very informative. You're the best. Thank you so much. That's why you guys come here. for in-depth information on gaming news, not just a video of me just blobbing away, even though videos are good, but in the sense people like live streams more because you're able to interact with your audience a bit more and answer questions. You know, with videos, you make the video, then you got to go down and look at all the comments and things like that, which is still good, but I feel like live streams is just better because you get to be more in-depth and more immersive with your content. Hey Marlon, what's your favorite Nintendo game overall and PS4? Nintendo, man, I would say probably Zelda. I'm more of a Zelda fan than I am Mario. Mario's kind of tired of Mario now over the years, but more Zelda. And then for PlayStation, God of War, Metal Gear God of War. Let's see here. Is there even a need for a state of play for Last of Us? Heck yeah, they're trying to show more gameplay on it, trying to talk about things that we don't know about. So yeah, heck yeah, man. Never discontinue something. Never try to how could I say, destroy something that is Sony is trying to do. You know what I mean? Especially if they're trying to show you more stuff that you don't know about the game without spoiling anything. So I think that's a good thing, man. Heck, Sony need to have more gameplay, state of plays like what they did with all of that. You know, with the Ghost of Tsushima and stuff like that. Opening that PO box, yes. Once this whole thing pandemic kind of goes down, I'll have that. More PS4 exclusives are going to come to PC. Get ready. That isn't a joke. I mean, you can kind of expect some more titles, but it's probably not going to be what you guys think it's going to be. Never destroy something that's never been broken. Exactly. There you go. There you go. When are you playing Last of Us on stream? Already did. If you've been paying attention, I streamed it on Saturday. So yeah, already been doing that. All right, so it says tomorrow is the Call of Duty World War II free on PS4. Yeah, I know some of you guys are gonna download that. It says, is Godfall gonna release alongside with PS5? Maybe. We'll see what happens on that. Maybe. It says, speaking of God of War, I'm playing my second run with all XP and weapons and armor. Love this game. Okay, I see you. Imagine beating Xbox, making a custom SSD. The developers ranting about it in the video. Okay, PS5. Okay. Hey Marlon, what is the next game will you be streaming? Next game I will be streaming is probably going to be The Last of Us 2. Or if there's anything in between, then I might do that. I just hope we get backwards compatibility for PS5. We'll see, man. Happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to everybody. Hopefully you guys are enjoying your Memorial Day. Day off. I know it's a lot of time off for a lot of you guys, so hopefully you guys are enjoying that. All right, guys, this wraps up today's edition of the show. Thank you guys so much for all your questions, for all your concerns, for your donations, for your viewership and everything like that. Really do appreciate you guys, and this is why we're going to continue to push forward with the show. And thank you guys so much for making the show a success. All right, stay tuned. Love you guys. Y'all be blessed. Y'all be easy. Wash your hands and be safe. Y'all know what time it is, man. Peace. Love you guys. Let's go, champ. We out here. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Fist bumps, man. Let's go. We out here. Chad Tur, Sly, just subscribe. Thank you so much, man. Hit that notification bell on all. Peace. Love you guys, man. Welcome aboard, Chad, Sly. Appreciate you, man. Take care. Have a good one.